Now, Heather Hulburt is the Executive Director of the National Security Network think tank. She was also a Special Assistant to former U.S. President Bill Clinton, and she joins us live here in the studio. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be with you.
We had one analyst here at Al Jazeera say that Osama bin Laden is largely irrelevant. When we talked about the events of the past 24 hours. Is he irrelevant?
I think there's some truth to that, in that for quite a while before yesterday, his operational control of al-Qaeda had been pretty dramatically reduced. It wasn't in any way the organization it was on September 11th. And the events we've seen in the Middle East and the Arab world this spring had really shown how far behind his ideological appeal had fallen, and that history had, to some extent, passed him by. In terms of the U.S. political debate, of course, he was still highly relevant.
Mm-hmm. When we look at the last 2 days and what has happened, we've been raising questions throughout the day today about the role of Pakistan in this. This must be a terribly embarrassing time for the Pakistanis, isn't it? Do you think those questions will be answered in the days ahead, or will the administration here try to patch differences up?
Well, I think both things will happen. That there'll, of course, be a lot of curiosity, and there's already a lot of anger here, understandably. How could it be the case that such an enormous compound was built just down the road from Pakistan's West Point and operated for years? That's very, very hard to understand from the American perspective. On the other hand, as people much smarter than me have concluded over and over again, there's actually no alternative to continuing to work with Pakistan in the region. You can't make it go away. It's an important country, soon to be the world's largest Muslim country, pivotally located. So there's going to be no choice but to continue to try to find ways to work with all the different, both the military and civil society aspects of Pakistan.
Right. One of the things we've heard from Western leaders, including President Obama, is that to a large extent, young Muslims in the Muslim world have rejected Osama bin Laden and al-Qaeda, and they point to the uprisings in the Arab world as evidence of that people are turning away from that. They want democracy. But that doesn't automatically mean that those young people are now embracing the West, does it?
No, and I think it's a bit oversimplistic to suggest that people move from one to another to another. There's been a clear decline in polling support for bin Laden over the years, frankly, as it became more apparent how many Muslims were his victims. Of course, many more Muslims than Christians or Americans. And of course, young people are looking for things that will make their lives better, that will give them dignity and express their aspirations. And that's not the same thing as saying, everyone wants their country to look like an American state or a European country.
Right. Okay. We're going to have to leave it there. Thank you for joining us.
Great. Thank you.